The Member of Parliament for Ifijuase Asokore apologizes to the Speaker of Parliament for suggesting that he was corrupt.
Honorable Frank Boakye Agyeman, MP, do hereby render an unqualified apology to Right Honorable Speaker for the statement made by me when I was interviewed by a Joy FM reporter.
Now, right after an emergency sitting last month over the acquisition of Merchant Bank by Fortis, Mr. Boakye told Joy News the Speaker was influenced to rule against the push by the minority for a probe into the Merchant Bank. So his assertion was condemned by his colleague, mainly from the majority side. When the House returned from recess, the Speaker expressed his indignation about the claims and referred the matter to Parliament's Privileges Committee. There for today's big story. My name is Bright Nana Amfo, and I'll be joined very soon by Mr. Elton John Broby. He witnessed the parliamentary proceedings today and will tell us exactly what happened in the studio there. Stay right there. We're back in a moment.
Honorable Frank Boakye Agyeman, MP, do hereby render an unqualified apology to Right Honorable Speaker for the statement made by me when I was interviewed by a Joy FM reporter on the subject matter of the motion for the investigation into the sale of the Merchant Bank Ghana Limited. Among other things, I stated that the Right Honorable Speaker was influenced by Honorable Hanatete before he gave his ruling on the motion. In fact, I had no factual basis in making that statement. Those remarks made by me were actuated by political motives rather than factual information. Accordingly, I withdraw every bit of the statement attributed to me and hereby apologize to Right Honorable Speaker without any shade of reservation.
Member of Parliament for Asokore Ifijuase there talking about his apology. But Elton John Broby witnessed the action in Parliament. Welcome to today's big story. But first, let me play to you exactly what the Member of Parliament told Joy News after the sitting over the Fortis Bank issue.
I don't think the Speaker intended going the way he has just gone. But somewhere along the line, we realized, I think there was a signal to him to adjourn, to resume an hour later.
Signal from whom?
It's obvious. It's obvious because he just dramatically said, let us suspend the House for 1 hour and come back.
And you think somebody may have influenced that decision?
That is so.
And you don't know that person?
It can be any other person, but from the government side, that is a very good suspicion.
And that is the allegation from the Member of Parliament for Ifijuase Asokore. Elton is in the studio. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Has he escaped any sanctions?
Well, for now, yes. I mean, the Speaker has, let the matter go. Parliament will no longer pursue this particular issue because remember when this issue first came up, the Speaker referred it to the Privileges Committee for some kind of investigation.
Right.
And the leadership prevailed on the Speaker to allow them to handle the matter within their own circles. The Speaker, after listening to both sides of the House, agreed that the leadership handled the matter. He gave them 1 week to report back to him. So the leadership today presented their report to the Speaker. Deputy Minority Leader Dominic Niti, who spoke on behalf of the minority group in Parliament, Dr. Benjamin Kombo collaborated everything, and they said that they've given the Member of Parliament the opportunity to read a statement and then retract and apologize, which he did. So he, apologized, retracted the statement, saying that it was based on nothing. It was motivated by political motives. So the Speaker should forgive him. He was forgiven. The Speaker said it takes a lot of courage to accept his wrongs and apologize accordingly. So, as far as the Speaker is concerned, this matter is closed.
Okay, it's closed. You were then. How remorseful was Mr. Boakye when he retracted the allegations he made?
I think it has been since the news, came out. Indeed, I spoke to him after that emergency system where he made those allegations to the effect that he couldn't provide any tangible evidence, and the fact that the Speaker, even before Parliament reconvened, had made it clear that he was going to pursue the matter. I think he started apologizing even before the matter came to the floor of Parliament. And on the day in question, he was not on the floor, but when he came back, he started apologizing. But the Speaker said he had already referred the matter to the leadership to handle it. So at that stage, he was left with no option than to wait for the leadership to present their report. And today he had the opportunity to apologize on the floor. I think that this is something that no member of Parliament would want to go through.
Right.
Especially as an old member in the House. I'm told that
knowing the rules on the floor of the House.
Of course, that you can't make allegations against the Speaker without any tangible reason. And even when you have issues with any ruling of the Speaker, the standing orders provide the grounds on which you can make your point. But in this case, he chose to, for want of a better word, go banana on the Speaker. So this, issue came up again. I'm told that they were missed at the Ghana School of Law. They've been long-time friends, he and the Speaker of Parliament. Indeed, when the minority leader sought to, as it were, plead on behalf of his colleague, he made mention of the fact that they had been friends. So the Speaker should look at that particular aspect of their life and then allow the matter to go. But,
you would have ordinarily expected the other side of the House to push for the Speaker to go ahead with sanctions. Did you sense from the body language of the other side of the House exactly what they wanted the Speaker to do with this particular thing?
Indeed, let me say that it was Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, the majority chief, who first raised the issue on the floor.
Right.
And directed that the Speaker allow the Privileges Committee handle the issue. And then the minority members came in strongly and then apologized on behalf of their colleague. The majority leader, Dr. Benjamin Kombo, as it were, bought into that idea of the Speaker allowing them to handle the matter within their own.
So you did not find the majority pushing that the Speaker go ahead
at the onset of it,
with sanctions?
The majority chief wanted the Privileges Committee to go ahead with the investigation, and I'm told that a sanction would have been to either suspend the member from the House for a considerable number of time, or better still, ask him to apologize like he did today.
Has it ever happened on the floor? You've been there for quite a long time. A member getting into trouble like that, that powerful committee, the Privileges Committee going into it, and perhaps sanctions being applied. Has it ever happened?
Not that I can recall. Indeed, people have made serious allegations against this particular Speaker and speakers who have presided over the House some time back. But always, the rules are clear. If you disagree with the ruling of the Speaker, the standard orders is quite clear on the steps you need to take to register your protest. Many have followed this, but some, this particular issue happened outside the floor of Parliament, so maybe he thought the rules were not going to affect him. But when everything was made clear to him, he realized that he had indeed gone beyond the line.
The rules are clear. Why do you think, trying to pick the brains of the members, the rules you said are clear? Why would they want to go out and go against the rule? What is the motivation? Politics?
I think so, because in this case, the member said that he was motivated by, political motives. Indeed, he had no evidence. I pushed him that you can't take the speaker down this road without providing any tangible evidence. He said he made his own deductions and came to the conclusion that indeed the speaker was influenced in that particular decision. So sometimes, and indeed, the speaker to advise them that even under an extreme provocation, you should be decorous in your choice of words.
Right.
Because we are serving the people of Ghana, and Parliament should be seen as a responsible house. So in the circumstances where members, begin to cast aspersions at the speaker, the speaker's, argument is that I'm only occupying the seat. Parliament as an institution will lose its respect. And that is what, both members conveyed to their members today.
You earlier said that people had made several allegations against speakers of Parliament, not necessarily this one.
Yeah.
The fact that they are not punished and the fact that perhaps they come and apologize, does it then send a signal to members that, well, that powerful committee is there, the privileges committee is there, but you can say it and then later on you come and apologize and then you can go scot-free.
Indeed, for those who wanted this matter go before the privileges committee, they made the argument that this will serve as a deterrent to others. Now, a precedent has been set. In the future, if a member makes serious allegations against the speaker, the member can say that when this member did so and so, the leadership took over the matter. So you can refer my case to the privileges committee. Indeed, if this matter had been handled by the privileges committee, I'm sure that it would have served, it would have laid a foundation solid for any future, disturbances or any future misbehavior.
Let's wrap up on this. That committee, the privileges committee, how powerful is it?
Well, it is actually the Privileges and Appointments Committee. It's chaired by the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and their work is to, check the conduct of members, and indeed people who make serious allegations against members of Parliament, or even
from outside Parliament.
A private citizen. If you are found to have misbehaved towards a member of Parliament, you can report that particular conduct to the Speaker. The Speaker can refer the matter to the Privileges Committee. You can be invited to provide evidence or to speak for yourself at that particular committee, and the committee has the powers of a high court. They can actually prefer sanctions against you,
and that's why it's so powerful.
Yes.
Ayrton, thanks so much for speaking to us. Ayrton John Brobbey was in Parliament today, and the particular issue of the Member of Parliament for Effigyase Asokore apologizing to the Speaker. We'll very soon be speaking to a governance expert. Really, what does it signify? Deepening democracy, or perhaps impugning the integrity, the credibility of that house, the House of Parliament. Stay with me. I'm coming back in a moment. In the studio is David Agbe. He is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. Welcome to the big story. And you have heard about the Member of Parliament for Effigyase Asokore apologizing for the accusations of corrupt practice on the part of the Speaker. What does it signal in our governance process, in our governance system?
Thank you very much, Nana. I think that in our governance process, you realize that politicians do make certain comments at the floor of Parliament which are, not palatable. And in this scenario, for instance, castigating the Speaker of Parliament to the extent that he was influenced. When you use the word influence, then it's a whole, baggage of, certain things that you are trying to bring onto the table. Like, for instance, he was corrupted, he was, under duress, he was, put, by a certain pressure from, the presidency or any other person, such that, such a matter was, ruled, which is not, to the, good atmosphere of Ghanaian population. So I think that the Honorable Member of Parliament, Frank Boakye, shouldn't have, made such a comment, because he is known as, somebody who has gone through the rudiment of parliamentary rules
Right,
and all
he's been
that.
there for quite some time.
And also being a schoolmate to the Speaker of Parliament, one would have expected that his comment at the floor of Parliament could have, been more, decorous, in a sense that, you always need to make sure that you collaborate with the Speaker of Parliament, and also make sure that every argument that you put on the table, is
you can provide evidence.
You can provide evidence. That is the exact
word. Does it tell us of the way our politicians speak in public? Now, in this case, when he was apologizing, he said clearly that he had no tangible evidence to defend what the accusation he is made. And does it tell us then that our politicians go onto political platforms or get the opportunity to speak, and really they don't tell us the truth, but whatever they think will be politically beneficial?
Nana, what I deduced from all the comment that he made was that he acknowledged the fact that he made such a comment based on political influence, but not
thinking
the
that
matter of a reality that
favor
has
his political party.
Precisely. And it's so you realize that it is political communication, lack of proper choice of words at the floor of Parliament has brought all these issues. And we will advise parliamentarians that anytime they are making a statement at the floor of the House, they should be able to craft their statement in such a way that it will not be detrimental. And it should be able to also send a certain signal to us watching from afar that they are there representing our views. And we don't want our views to be distorted in a certain way that our parliamentarian could not be a good representative to us. So,
David, judging from what he just said, that he made the statement when speaking to Joy News based on partisan politics. Should we trust politicians when they tell us A from B?
I think that we should trust politicians, but to extent that they make certain statements which they cannot substantiate and which could also be detrimental to our society, we should try to advise them to get away from that circumstances, because they are representing us, and we should see them representing our views, and we should see them articulating a good views that could benefit our democratic credentials, rather than making statements which could downplay the role that parliamentarians are doing as we speak. So we think that parliamentarians need to be more articulate in terms of crafting their message, which will send a good signal, rather than what Honorable Frank.
How deeply has he, from his apology, I always want to refer to the apology he made, saying that I am apologizing because I made a statement out of partisan politics. How deep has it affected credibility of members of Parliament?
I would say that he is just a single person.
He is, but I mean, he's confessed that, well, he did it based on partisan politics.
Precisely, and most of the times, most of our parliamentarians have been making, such utterances and such comment, and we need to, guide them so that when they step into the House, it is not like a political campaign platform where they can say anything and get away of it. But as soon as they enter into Parliament, they should, appreciate the fact that they are there to serve the general interest, and also the world is watching, because now Ghana has been touted as, the beacon of hope as far as democracy is concerned. But to see them making certain comments and certain statements which they cannot substantiate, and which they can also not, provide credible evidence, it is uncalled for. And I think that we need to always guide them in terms of the way they communicate at the Parliament. You see, many people enter into the seat of Parliament without being taught the way they need to actually craft a message at the floor of the House.
They don't get a proper orientation.
Precisely. Nana, you know that you are a communication person, and a communication person is a different person altogether from somebody who has been taught into a legal, saying big words and all that. But if you are a communicator, your message need to, be well crafted. Your message need to be well articulated in certain way that every single day people could trust your message. But when you are seen as using certain words, making certain utterances, which you cannot provide evidence, then it means that you are losing a certain level of credibility, and which is not good. And for him, he's a lawyer. He has been through all these kind of, scenarios, and we don't expect him to be making such, comment at all.
I want us to stay on this issue of credibility, because this is a legal mind.
Yes.
He knows the rules of the House. If you disagree with the Speaker's ruling, the processes are there.
Yeah.
And yet he goes out to make allegations that he cannot provide evidence. So he's not credible.
I would say that he is credible, but I think that he was driven by a certain emotions and a certain, exuberance, if I could use that word. He wasn't all that tactful and careful in terms of using such, words that the Honorable Speaker was influenced. And he knows the law, that using the word influence, means a lot. It's a word that shouldn't be used by such, a person who has the legal, brain. You see, so I think that we need to guide them more. We need to let them also appreciate that what they are doing, we are also watching them. We are watching their characteristics as far as they are in the parliament there. If you are in your own bedroom, you can use any words that you like. But when you get into Parliament House there, you are a good representative for all of us. And we need to see them depicting those characteristics which are good, which are exemplary for all of us to learn something out of.
No, let's wrap this conversation up on it. Now, should the Privileges Committee had gone ahead to investigate the issue and perhaps the Speaker taking sanctions against him?
It could have been a good, precedent.
I'm asking if he could have done it.
For me, let me say that it could have been a good precedent, but the way he has, apologized, I think that the one who helped him in terms of drafting the letter of apology is a good enough. That for me, I think that the Honorable Speaker will not have any alternative of saying that the matter needs to be dragged further
than to forgive him.
Yes, than to forgive him. So I think that all of us need to learn a lesson, so that any time we get the opportunity of communicating to a certain class of people, or perhaps communicating on the floor of Parliament, we need to measure our words, and we need to measure our pedigree as well, so that our character is not being questioned at a certain level of time at all.
David, thanks for speaking.
Thank you so much, Nana.
David Agbe is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security, talking to me about the apology by the Member of Parliament for Efijase Asokore there. And quickly, before I wrap up, let me chip in this. The issue of the genetically modified organism foods, again, is on the floor. It's been discussed there, and a lot more has been said about it. The Member of Parliament for Naduli has been talking about it and explaining the essence of the Breeders' Bill at a parliamentary press conference here in Accra. Let's listen.
What this bill sought to do is to continue the efforts of government to create the environment that can incentivize Ghanaians to produce locally and not depend on foreign production. When we're talking about productivity, we're not talking only about putting materials together and churning out a commodity. We are also talking about exercising our minds, our brains. We're talking about creativity. We're talking about innovation. And so these are the kind of bills which are called trade-related intellectual property laws, which allow individuals to create, to innovate something different, something that can surmount the current challenges or future challenges in the subject area. And so that is what this bill is about. And this bill is specifically focusing on plant breeding. Already in Ghana, plant breeding is ongoing, and Ghanaians are consuming the products of plant breeding.
Let me speak to Ya Opoku with Food Sovereignty Ghana. Ya Opoku, thanks so much for your time. The minister is suggesting there that the plant breeders bill is only to ensure that people are more creative and more innovative. You don't agree?
My brother, I think the minister is being economical with the truth. The truth is that most of them were sent to Switzerland by UPOV 91. It's a World Trade Organization that organized some MPs to go outside the country so that they can come within what we call the TRIPS, the Trade-Related Intellectual Property passage as part of the WTO order on most developing countries to be part of this system of making seats or adding seats into the whole gamut of intellectual property. So he is very economical with the truth. Now, it is not a question of innovation, my brother. It is not a question of simply innovation. It's a question of the fact that GM foods is about technology that transfers toxins from bacteria into crops so as to kill insects or pesticides that feed on those particular crops. And by so doing, they are supposed to reduce the amount of money they spend on buying pesticides.
That is not wrong.
Please hold on. What we need to ask is, what will be the effect of human beings eating those crops that contain the toxins that have been put in them? That is the question they are not asking, but they are not answering.
Tell me, tell me, what will be the effect?
What we are saying is that the effect is predictable. If a small toxin of it can kill an insect weighing about 1 gram, you will need a higher quantity of the toxins in a human being to have effect. So if you conduct a search today and you say that that human being is strong, it has no GM food, has no effect on the human being, what you are actually doing is that you are comparing the toxin that kills an insect with the quantity of toxin the human being needs to eat to have effect on him. And because for now it is not having any effect on him, you jump to the conclusion that GM food does not have any bad effect on human beings. That is what we are contending with. And that is what, and when we come to the plant breeders bill, my brother, one, the plant breeders bill, because it was an imposition from the World Trade Organization under the TRIPS, you find that section 3, 4, and 9, particularly 9, A, 9B, and C, says that anybody who is a member of any treaty that Ghana is a member has a right to register a plant breeder, register as a plant breeder. Any member or an agent or a company which is a member of any country that Ghana is a member can register. That should tell you that the focus is not about innovation in Ghana. The focus is about the international agribusinesses being given an open-ended opportunity to come to Ghana. Mind you, let me quote just three of them.
Quickly, we're getting ready to wrap up.
Quickly, yes. Section 23 says that a plant breeder, once he gets the right, is independent of whatever the government decision will be on plant breeding. Now, Section 28 says that a plant breeder who registers has to file a statutory declaration as to how much royalty the Ghanaian or the agent should pay for the use of that intellectual property. Me and you, royalty for seed to be paid by Ghanaians for a particular seed. When we have multiples of seeds, and we are now crying for foreign exchange in Ghana now,
right.
My brother, would we say that the plant breeders bill, in terms of Section 23 and 28, would be of benefit to this country?
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll have to end it here. Yaw Opoku is with Food Sovereignty Ghana, and this debate will go on Parliament, getting ready to receive more memoranda on the issue of the plant breeders bill. That's how we're wrapping up the first part of the show, and we'll get into the second part, interactive segment, where you can have the opportunity to engage us on what you think are the issues trending. Stay with me. I'm coming back in a moment. Gladys is already here in the studio. Time to go interactive. Welcome, Gladys. And what are we talking about today?
We're following up on the burnt baby issue.
The body's been found?
Not yet. We're just following up on how far they've gone with investigations and all that. So we hope that we'll be told now that, yeah, eventually they found the body.
Welcome to the show, Gladys.
Thank you, Nana. So on JN Interactive today, we have two issues. During this investigation on the burnt baby issue has revealed that staff of Komfo Teaching Hospital are negotiating a quiet settlement of the issue. What are your thoughts on the issue? Is this an issue to be settled quietly? Also coming up on JN Interactive are dwarfs actually sitting on the CD. Stay with us.
Hey, Charlie, but they say make we pray.
My name is Gladys Osei Oredi. Let's get interactive right here. You can join us on social media platforms, facebook.com/joynewsontv, or send us a tweet to twitter.com/joynewsontv. The handles are at joynewsontv and #JN Interactive. You could also email us via joynewsim@multitvworld.com. So you are right here on Joy News on Multi TV. This is JN Interactive. Don't go away, stay with me as we get interactive right here on Joy News. Last week Friday, we showed a bizarre story of a woman who demanded to see the corpse of her baby after delivery. Nurses at the Komfo Teaching Hospital told her she cannot see the baby because the body has been trashed and burnt. Joy News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Mohammed Nuruddin has found out that the nurses are suggesting a quiet settlement of the case.
The meeting, which lasted close to 30 minutes, could not convince the family to let the matter go, as they insisted the hospital must produce the body of the baby if it truly died. The worker is said to have given different explanation of the incident. According to the worker, the hospital told him the 36-year-old woman knew the baby was dead, but the family insisted Suwaiba never saw the body of the baby even after asking persistently. Suwaiba said the nurses on one point disclosed the weight of the baby as 4.2 kilograms to the mother and wondered if that was necessary if the baby was truly dead. She told Joy News the nurses on duty asked her about the sex of the baby on 2 different occasions, which gave her enough reason to suspect the baby was not dead. Joy News can also confirm that authorities at the hospital are demanding an official letter from the Ashanti Regional Police Command to release the nurses on duty at the time the woman delivered for interrogation. The police was expected to meet the nurses on Monday for questioning. Meanwhile, the meeting between the regional minister and Suwaiba's family, which was scheduled for Monday on the same matter, could not come off. Suwaiba Abdul Mumin delivered at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital at about 3 a.m. last Tuesday, and after 3 hours, the body of her baby could not be found.
So that was a recap of what the story when it came on last Friday. That's what happened. And still, we haven't heard anything, but we're crossing over to our Ashanti Regional Correspondent, Mohammed Nuruddin, via Skype to update us what he has been gathering so far. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed. Mohammed, can you hear me? Mohammed, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, Mohammed, tell us, you have been following up on Suwaiba's family. Have you gathered anything from them concerning the corpse of the baby?
Yeah, Gladys, like we said earlier, that the police were expected to meet the nurses yesterday to interrogate them on the issue. And that wasn't possible yesterday because the information we have gathered was that the hospital demanded an official letter from the police before they could allow them they could release the nurses on duty at the time the woman delivered to interrogate them. So the interrogation didn't come on yesterday. And today, what we have gathered is that the police have been able to issue a letter to the hospital, and they are expecting latest from now till Thursday that the hospital will release the nurses for interrogation. Meanwhile, the youth in where the woman lives at Ababu were earlier this morning threatening to embark on demonstration tomorrow. And so community leaders have to intervene, talk to them, and ask them to wait for now till Thursday so that the police would hear from the police what the police will do on Thursday before they can do whatever they want to do. And so from now till they are saying they would wait to hear from the police, and then Saturday, Sunday, they would prepare for a peaceful demonstration at the hospital to demand for the body of the baby if actually the baby died. And the family are saying that they are also ready to pump in any
I'll try to call Nuruddin back to give us that update, very useful update there, that the youth of Agwabo in the Ashanti region are threatening to go on demonstration to demand the body, the corpse of the baby who died according to the hospital on delivery. Well, so they definitely won't take kindly to that. We pray and hope that as they have been calmed down to hold on till Saturday, we would get results even before the Saturday, so this does not even happen. Right, in a moment, let's take your WhatsApp messages as we try to reach Mohammed once again. So Nana Kojo says they should be persecuted. What's nonsense? That's coming from Nana Kojo Butchers. Okay. Well, Wache Okra says this is a criminal case and there can't be any settlement whatsoever. That's coming from Wache Okra, who thinks that there can't be any settlement. Wise Apusiga says, oh, so is that the protocol for dead babies at Comfort Teaching Hospital? Burning them? I don't think it's fair. Nobody thinks it's fair. It's just, well, it's bizarre and weird. And in Richmond, Damwa says, mercy, Lord. Well, yeah, at such times you can only be calling on the mercy of God. So that's coming from Enim Richmond, Damwa. Bismarck Aboge says, may the Almighty God forgive them. We shall all be judged according to our deeds one day. Okay, so let me just take one more, and then we get back on Skype. Okay, so let me quickly shift my focus now to Skype. My colleague Mohammed Nuruddin has joined us once again. So you were telling us about how the family is taking in all that is going on.
Yeah, like I said, the family are saying if the body is released, they are ever ready to provide any amount that would help them do the DNA test to confirm that that is the body of the baby. And so that is what they are planning to do. So until now, we'll be waiting till Thursday to hear what the police will do, whether they will be able to interrogate the nurses since they've been able to issue a letter to the hospital. The information we've gathered is that after Thursday, the police will be compelled to go in for the nurses if authorities do not release them.
Okay, I see. So we pray and hope that there's some good news there. If the baby is not dead, the baby is found. If indeed, as the hospital says, the baby is dead, well, we pray they are able to provide the body. Well, Nuruddin, thank you so much for that rich update. Yes, Nuruddin.
Yeah, like I said, the woman is still insisting that after she gave birth, the nurses asked her on 2 different occasions about the sex of the baby.
Okay.
And then afterwards, they also came to tell her the weight of the baby, which she said was 2.2 kilograms.
I see.
So she was wondering if actually the baby had died, why then should they tell her the weight of the baby?
But why would they even ask her on 2 different occasions what sex she hoped for? Were there 2 different nurses asking her that, or the same nurse asked her the same question?
Gladys, we've not been able to gather that information, but they're saying they asked her on 2 different occasions about the sex of the baby.
I see. Mohammed, thank you so much for that rich update. So we have been interacting with our Ashanti regional correspondent, Mohammed Nuruddin, who has been updating us on how far the issue has turned up. My question is, why would you ask a mother what the sex of a baby is when you have delivered the baby and hold the baby in your hand? Well, there are too many questions to be answered. Well, so let's quickly catch our breather here, and when we come back, we trying to also get online ASP Tanko, the Ashanti Regional Police PRO, who would also be telling us how far they have advanced with their investigations. Welcome back. This is JN Interactive. We are trying very much to get through to DSP Tanko, who is a PRO for the Ashanti Regional Police Command. ASP Tanko, Ashanti Regional Police Command PRO, who will be updating us on how far they have advanced with their investigations concerning the baby who supposedly died at birth, and the body swept and burnt. Well, so as we try to get through to him, he's not answering his call at the moment, but we'll continue to try. Let's quickly see what you have been telling us on Facebook. So we said Joy News investigation has revealed that staff of Komfo Teaching Hospital are negotiating a quiet settlement on the burnt baby. Okay, so today hospital staff are asking for a quiet settlement. What are your thoughts on the issue? And you have been sharing some of your opinions with us. Let's see. Gizman Emmanuelson says, if really the mother was aware that the baby is dead, then it's simple. I think it's oversight and they must accept the apology. But management should sanction someone. Gizman Emmanuelson, that's what you think. Munif Loaf says, the baby was sold and must get to the root. They must get to the root of the matter. But the parents better leave them to God, because there's no justice in Ghana. Your boy D. Cartermain says, Ebo Boba. Obviously, Ebo Boba. Ahiamazi Felix says, this is unpardonable offense. Those involved should be dealt with seriously so that it should serve as a deterrent to others. Franklin Foreigner says, what else can they do? Yeah, they should go to hell. Which people should go to hell, Franklin? Okay. Seth Amosa says they sold the child. People must be punished. Ado Godfred Kweku says those Dracula doctors at the hospital must be fished out and dealt with accordingly. In this age and time, Komfo Teaching Hospital, arguably one of the best in terms of healthcare delivery, one is left wondering if they still have image, if there is any to protect in the face of this barbaric and nasty story. It is a huge shame and serious indictment on the professional competence of those staff at the CAT. Akoto Christopher says, yeah, the baby was sold to a rich man. Clue philanthropist Ahwaga Wilson says, what kind of settlement? This baby is not dead. They may be telling lies. Kudos, Timite, says, they must face the law. Idrisu Abubakar says, this is absolute nonsense. What kind of quiet settlement are they talking about? After exhibiting their unprofessionalism, they should better apologize and repent from these inhuman acts. Seidu Bilkis, I won't attempt that, says, please, doctors don't deliver babies. They only monitor them when they are in labor, and when they are full, the midwives deliver them. If the baby or the mother have no medical complaints, the doctor has little to do with them. So please keep doctors out of this. Ismail says, what a disgusting shame. Sometimes I can see reason why we have stricter gun rules, such impunity. Mohammed Abdul Rahman says, this is a crime against humanity. Justice must be done for this woman. And those who are responsible for this crime, they have to pay for it. You mean they have to pay for it? Fianu Nyatope Victor says, if I'm the woman, I will take the hospital to court so that the law will deal with them. What carelessness. Let's say entry Enim Andy says, the doctors must be punished or fired. Let's say Lord Listowel and Namzime says whatever. Well, you don't care, eh? Okay, so let me just take my last one and tell you about the second issue. Augustine Buadi says, how can the deceased be burnt without the parents' consent? The law has to take its course. Augustine, I agree with you. The law definitely must take its course, and that is what we are all hoping for. So, unfortunately, we still could not get ASP to answer his call, but it won't end here. We will be following up closely on the issue and keep you posted on the justice that comes out of that issue. Let me now take the advantage and tell you about the second issue. And on a lighter note, we jump straight to the city again. Who is sitting on the Ghana city? Watch the story and let's get interactive.
Depreciation of the cedi is the biggest issue under discussion in the country. It has dominated headlines for several weeks, and there are no indications the discussion will end soon until the cedi stabilizes. The governor of the Bank of Ghana and his team have rolled out technical measures to arrest the cedi. One of the measures include a directive that all business transactions should be done in Ghana cedis. Earlier, the Bank of Ghana announced $20 million injection into critical areas of the economy to save the cedi. As fiscal measures are being sought to strengthen the cedi, men of God believe the situation demands a spiritual solution.
Hey, Charlie, I
hold this money in my hand right now, the cedi. Say, I hold up the cedi, I hold it up. Say, I hold up the cedi with prayer. And I command the city to recover. And I declare the city will not fall. Say, I command the resurrection of the city. In the name of Jesus, say, I command a miracle for the economy. I command and release a miracle for Ghana's economy. Let the city rise.
Before the dust settled, Nigerian prophet T.B. Joshua also said Ghanaians need to pray to save the economy.
The nation of Ghana, economic crisis, I'm saying, they should pray for their currency. The economic crisis is the challenge they will have there.
Some Ghanaians disagree.
When it comes to the issue of economy, it's not about prayers, you understand? It's about the people sitting on top.
I don't think we need any spiritual solution by the government. We have to work hard.
That is not all. The Deputy Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, Anita D'Souza, also suggested that dwarfs and juju are the cause of the falling cedi. Trust Ghanaians to always make fun in serious situations. And if such statements make you feel like shaking your head, then I tell you that this is what makes us Ghanaians. What will really save the cedi? Trading in cedis only, praying or searching for dwarfs who are sitting on the cedi?
Hey, Charlie, I accommodate the economy, but they say make we pray.
Are dwarfs actually sitting on the cedi? Let's see what you have been telling us on our WhatsApp. So let's see. We have Ibn Idi who says our leaders are rather sitting on the cedi. Okay, so you don't think we have any dwarfs. Henry Agbo says, how can a dwarf sit on our cedi? Every day there will be a matter rising in Ghana. Ghana. That's okay, let's see. Abdullah Abdul Razak says, indeed only God can save us, but it is due to mismanagement of our economy. Let's say, Barry Makofius says, human dwarfs, Anita be their queen mother. Yeah. Let's see, Emmanuel Lewusu says, this is serious, so dwarfs sitting on the cedi. Oh, Ghana. Let's see who's next. Let me just take two more. Okay, we ran out of time, so let me quickly get onto Facebook and see what you have been saying. So as usual, our dwarfs actually sitting on our cedi, and you have been telling us what you think. Well, so Danny Kwajo Ampofa says, ha ha ha, these guys in government today cannot be serious. Nasara Gunu also is laughing. He says, what? They should better sit up and stop fooling themselves. Let's see. Richard Asari Nyako says, he's also laughing. Funny joke. Okay. Kobe Finley says, useless. Patience Ekia Asunoa Bonzi says, ha 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 ha. Daniel Bafu says, Kai, cheer for where? Okay, Reagan Augustine. I pity people who call themselves leaders in Ghana, too ashamed to hear so-called leaders have these primitive beliefs. But Jane, how did you get pictures of dwarfs? Yeah, yeah, that's what you can trust us for. Okay, let's see. AJ Nikkei says Africa. Jana Sadiq says, only in Ghana, dwarfs indeed, cheer on their heads. I mean, I'm enjoying reading your comments. Let me just take my last one. Jato Albert says, Ghana is a religious country, and any force that rises against us can't succeed. We only need to put good measures. We are okay for that. So, On that note, putting good measures in our economy to ensure that we stabilize our city, I draw the curtain on JN Interactive. Nana, probably we should go looking for the dwarfs too,
well,
right?
If indeed dwarfs are sitting on the city, I mean, there's no problem at all. I mean, two giants of God, Duncan Williamson and TB Joshua, have seen it, and so I'm sure the dwarfs will be getting up any moment from now. Let's tell you what will happen at 8 o'clock on our major news bulletin. The Vice President, Pakwesi Misasa, has described the new measures put in place by the Bank of Ghana to stabilize the city from further depreciation as critical to the health of the economy. He's asking the Bank of Ghana to seek reforms to enforce the legal requirement for doing business in the country and also to help reduce the dollarization of the Ghanaian economy.
Also, organized labor is set to table a proposal to government for an increase in the daily minimum wage. The proposal also comes on the heels of the rising cost of living, which the union says has necessitated their push for the increase in the daily wage paid workers. Okay, so at 8 we'll bring you the details.
And also, market women at Ogbojo, new market in the Adentan municipality, are pleading with their colleagues in Medina and its environs to fill up the empty stores. We're told a lot of stores are empty. So get there and fill the stores. We have all these and more coming up at 8 o'clock with Israel Live. Thanks so much for having stayed here for us. We have Tarzan Steak coming up right after this. My name is Bright Nanamfo.
My name is Gladys Osei Oredu. Keep praying for the city.